is Hena Husain, and today's guest is Dr. Johanne Edwards. Please help me welcome her. Yay! All right. So, our topic is, as you know, is about healing. Our podcast is all about healing. So, Joanne, can you share what does healing mean to you?
Well, first of all, Hannah, I want to say thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate the opportunity to share and to get out with your network. It means a lot to me. But what it means to be a healer for me is not, of course, as a sense of purpose and of being of service, but also healing means seeing the person, not just the illness. Okay. And my greatest joy is connecting with my clients and being able to, you know, lear- be connected with them in a personal way, creating a safe space where my clients can heal. I want to understand not only their physical issues, but also their story. I want to take the time to listen, to understand, and to walk alongside them on their healing journey, to be there with them the whole way.
So, Joanne, can you share a little bit about your own background? Your education, who you are today from all the stuff you've done, and how with the education, obviously you got a doctorate, and I'm so happy. Share us a little bit what your doctorate is in.
Well, my doctorate is in natural healing, but I also have a PhD. So I have two doctorates. And my doctorate is in natural medicine, which gave me the training for body-mind medicine. Uh, I do hypnosis like you, Hannah, and I do, things like meditation, timeline therapy, a lot of the tools that allow you to get in touch with the subconscious with the client and help them, shift their thinking and getting a different perception on their past traumas. The other part of my degree is, of course, nutrition and being able to do herbal and support supplements and nutrients. And then my third area, I went to Quantum University where I studied quantum physics. So I took a look at not only, well, we have 100 trillion cells in our body, but we have 100 trillion atoms in every cell.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on at the uh, sub subatomic level. That's what energy medicine is all about. And so part of my degree was called quantum medicine.
Wow.
And then my PhD, I wrote a thesis on trauma and how it relates to illness, both acute and chronic trauma.
So, with all these degrees that you have, oh my God, so what would you say? Is it really true? The bottom line is, the energy pattern, we're vibrating at, the emotions. What is it?
Well, that's kind of a big question, and I don't think you can kind of summarize it into to one thought. But Einstein said that all the medicine of the future will be done with frequency. So all illness, all trauma, all of them have a frequency. So our healing has to be looked at the cellular level, not just
Right.
the physical symptoms. So I guess I would say the one thing is getting down to the cellular level because our emotions impact those cells, and it does it by your beliefs. And that subatomic energy is sending messages to the cell to tell it whether to be a kidney or a liver or whether to divide or so it's the information system is at the subatomic level. But if we're putting trash in our body and we're not allowing those, I'll say, cell antennas to pick up the healthy nutrients, there becomes a breakdown of the cell. So I really think that healing really begins at the cellular level, and really understanding that mechanism is key.
Wow, that is amazing. So, what I'm understanding is that healing really occurs at a cellular level. And I recently also just read this book, and it says DNA and your emotions. So, our emotions affects our DNA.
That's correct. So what that means is called epigenetics, and Dr. Bruce Lipton is really key, and I think that and really bringing that science into mainstream. And he talks about the fact that not only does our emotions affect our DNA and alter it, which is, like I said, the changing the DNA is epigenetic, but also toxins from our environment and our food, that can change our epigenetic DNA alterations. And so uh, uh, there's a book out, it's called Dirty Genes. And what
Mm,
it means is there's so many things, medication, so many toxins and sugar's a big one that can alter our DNA. So very small percent. Bruce Lipton says only 1% of disease is genetic, but we blame it on everything because then that doesn't give us responsibility. We
that's
we we
right.
don't have to be responsible for our own health or our own makeup and our genetic expression.
Absolutely. So I 100% agree that really, it's our emotions affect us, our DNA, and at a cellular level, and then they affect a specific organ. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
it'll hit the weakest organ.
yeah, got it. Got
So
it.
if you're abusing your liver with too much sugar, you may have liver issues. If it might be the gut and usually all chronic illness begins there. It has the biggest impact on many things, and there's a major chemical response. Sugar is poison,
Yes.
and there's a major. I would say that's the core of all chronic illness is sugar metabolism.
I 100% agree with that, that sugar is the number one. And then, of course, we take a lot of stress. That's the other killer. Subconsciously eating away at our bodies and, causing dis-ease. So, my next question to you is share your journey from where you were and what healing tools you use to heal your mind, body, spirit. Just share a little bit about your healing journey.
Well, I guess I've always been a scientist, which you can tell by our conversation so far, and really looking at problem solving. I was very involved in my youth in science fairs, and I belonged to a science and engineering youth group, and we traveled all over looking at different, laboratories and different um, science institutions, and we learned a lot. One of the women that I met during my time with the Five Talents, her name was Dr. Bartlett, and she was on the Manhattan Project. She actually designed the ceramic casing for the first atomic bomb, and she so impressed me. She'd never had children, and she told me, uh, "Don't just have a career, have a family." And I thought that it really influenced my thinking, so that I did do both. And I continued to pursue chemistry, engineering in college, and I ended up working in the automotive industry for 25 years. And
Mhm.
during that time, I did a lot of firsts for women because I was back in the 70s and 80s. There weren't too many of us in that field for sure. And I had a significant impact in electronics because it was during that time that General Motors was moving a lot of their components from mechanical to electromechanical. And so I designed the first cruise control lines. I redesigned factories. I actually engineered an offshore facility for electronic assembly. So, uh, that was most of half my career was there. But during that time, I met a woman. Her name was Sydney Bonvalet, and she was doing empowerment seminars. She was also in automotive, and she was the first bonus paid executive. So she very much impressed me. She was doing a workshop on empowerment, and at the time, it was just for women. So I thought, hey, sign me up. I want to do that. If she's leading it, I want to go. What an awakening. That class that weekend changed my life. I had never realized emotionally how shut down I was,
Hmm.
how much I had stuffed my pain. I had had a lot of physical and sexual abuse in my youth, and I had no idea how it had impacted me and
Hmm.
stole the joy of living. And
Oh.
on that Sunday, on that graduation event, I made up my mind that this is where my career path was going to go. And I partnered up with her. I worked 7 years. We did workshops together. I learned so much about trauma and how to relieve traumatic emotional events and what the impact it had on the body. And then I mean, I took seminars all over the world. I can't even tell you how much training in emotional intelligence I did.
Hmm.
So I started doing my own seminars, and I did them for 15 years.
Wow.
And uh, during that time, that 15 years, I started seeing people have these spontaneous healings, these spontaneous remissions. And
Hmm.
I couldn't figure out what it was that I was doing, other than I know that when you resolve that trauma, um, there was this huge shift, like you were talking about earlier, about the epigenetics and how it actually changed people at the cellular level. And what I learned when I went back to school, which I did to get my doctorate, and I did, like I said earlier, I did that at Quantum University. I found that when you shift your perception, there is a shift in the atomic structure. The electron actually moves down in orbit, and when it does that, it gives off a tremendous amount of energy. Well, if
Hmm.
you've got 100 trillion atoms in every cell, you're going to have this explosion of energy throughout the body. And so I learned that that was the actual impact that the body experiences when it has a healing, and that
Hmm.
that energy actually creates physical healing, changes epigenetics, changes the cell, and
Wow.
provides healing. So that was my reason for going back to school, was to figure out what is like the placebo effect, what is spontaneous remissions. And so not only did I help thousands of people go through that training and help them have their traumatic life experiences given some healing and but also physical changes as well. So that's why I incorporated not only nutrition but also the emotional and energy healing for my clients. You know,
Wow.
um, I think that my journey has not only, my students helped me grow too. I mean, it was a two-way street when you do
Absolutely.
those type
Yeah.
things. But not only my own personal growth, but my purpose of living, came out of all of that. And I wasn't planning to be a healer. It's amazing how I think God has you figured out and what your path is going to be before you sit back and design it. So,
Oh,
and I,
amazing. Yeah. Just like me, I never thought I was going to be a healer. And here I am with you, healing one client at a time with different modalities. Of course, hit the hypnosis, the Reiki, and NLP, all the tools that kind of comes together when the client is in front of you, what's going to work best for them.
Correct. There isn't, uh, you know, any one modality that's
Yeah,
more important than the other. We have to look at the person holistically for sure.
absolutely. So for our audience today, Dr. Johanne Edwards, can you share one tool that you can teach, something easy, something, like that takes 2 minutes to teach the audience that they can walk away and after listening to our podcast, they can start using it tomorrow?
Well, what comes to my mind is not so much a tool, but kind of a tip,
A
you
tip,
know.
meditation,
Right.
whatever, something they can walk away with that, oh my God, we learned this today and it's going to make an impact and we can start using it.
Yeah, and I think what I'd like to do, Hannah, is particularly reach out to the women, female audience. So many of us have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression and
Yes.
put on psychotropic drugs,
Yeah.
and anti-anxiety. And what I want them to know is that 90% of our serotonin is produced in the gut, not in the brain. And
Mm,
so I have treated a lot of women with anxiety and depression by healing their gut. It's in the gut that the serotonin is produced and help with our good gut bacteria, and then it is converted to dopamine. So if we don't have a healthy gut, we are not going to have a healthy attitude and a healthy
mm.
sense of ourselves and sense of well-being. So I think that that's a great message. So many of us have been believing there's something mentally wrong with us when it's really our bacteria isn't as healthy as it should be. So, in saying that, I've gotten, like I said, I've gotten a lot of women off of psychotropic drugs, which have a tremendous amount of side effects, and gotten them to feel great and have a wonderful sense of well-being by, and I said earlier, all illness begins in the gut. So, the other tip, along with that, is to help the gut, to help the stomach, and weight loss. Just a little remedy here. They can take apple cider vinegar before a meal, about a tablespoon in some water, 2 or 3 times a day, and that only not only helps clean up and help with the digestive system, but also helps with weight loss.
Oh, that's a good tip and easy to
Yeah,
do. Apple cider vinegar with mother, 1 tablespoon in a cup of warm water
yeah. Yeah, well,
before each
I
meal. Yeah.
I do it just straight, but some people can't take it that way, so put it in
Yeah.
a little
If you can
water,
do it straight, I
do
cannot do
shots,
it straight.
2 vinegar shots. And,
Ah,
that, like I said, also helps with weight loss. Make sure it's organic vinegar.
yes, absolutely. So just to recap, the bottom line is your gut health. To take care of that, take care of stress and anxiety. Is there a product you generally give your clients for gut health that you could tell us? And I know you do Standard and Poor product,
Yeah, Standard Process is the name of
Standard
that
and Process
company.
product. Yeah,
Yeah, they make it's called Pro-Symbiotic. I don't like to keep my clients on probiotics for too long because then you only build a particular bacteria. You want to have diversity there.
right.
So, but I do that maybe 6 months. You could take it's called Pro-Symbiotic. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other product I have is called Ion. It's developed by Dr. Zach Bush, and it's a fabulous product. I give it to a lot of children because so many children have gut issues as well. Those are my two go-tos to help heal the gut.
Okay, so I'm really thankful for your time and giving us tools to heal, at a cellular level, at an emotional level, and of course, with the products as well to clean our gut and drink apple cider vinegar. So, how if one is to get hold of you, how do they get hold of you?
Okay, I'm gonna have Candace here throw up my business card so that everybody can see it on the. If you'll give me a minute to get the slide
Sure,
here.
sure. So while you're getting that, and I'm really excited. Our next episode is going to be also about healing with a psychoanalyst. I have an interview set up about emotional healing as well. So I will allow that. There we go. Allow. There you go. So we have a lot of upcoming, very great speakers and a guest coming up. And here's Johanne Edwards' information. Please take a note of it. There's her address, her phone number, 810-287-0826. And she is in Fenton, Michigan. Her email is also there, her website. So please make a note of it. And thank you very much, Dr. Johanne Edwards, for joining Healing with Hena podcast. And looking forward to, getting in touch again. Thank you.
Yeah, I so appreciate it, Hannah. It was fun.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, honey.